Hi, okay, so I'm just gonna start out driving, and so I thought I would be doing a video in the car, so I just wanted to let you know that I'm not gonna be watching the screen, but I'm gonna be driving, and today's video is about guilt and shame. So, guilt and shame. This is a huge one. This is a massive one. If you have chronic pain, chronic illness, chronic symptoms, chronic disease, chronic anything, you are carrying guilt and shame with you. So what do I mean by that? You're like, no, that's really not my biggest emotion. My biggest emotion is sadness or anger or fear. Maybe so. Maybe that is. But I want to talk about guilt and shame because it's inevitable that if you have pain and if you have a chronic condition that hurts you and that feels so uncomfortable and so miserable, and the sickness is draining, like it hurts, physically hurts on you, then you definitely have guilt and shame. Okay, so let me explain. So back in the day, before I was ever even chronically sick, and I had read, this is probably about 10 years ago now, Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. And I don't even remember what led me to that book all those years ago. I don't even know what I thought I needed healing from. I think it might have been anxiety from my 20s where, you know, I did go through a spout of anxiety. I did go through a whole bunch of anxiety, which this video is not going to get into. But, okay, so, anyways, I wound up reading this book. I found it the other day in my bookshelf because I've kept all my medical and emotional and physical healing and alternative health books, so many of them, but I just stumbled upon this one, and I was looking at pain in there, and she says that basically pain is guilt, and all guilt seeks punishment. And so her theory is that if you feel guilty about something, you're punishing yourself. You're giving yourself a sentence, and that sentence is pain. It's like you feel so bad about something that has happened, something that you felt that you had some control over, and you didn't either listen to your internal guidance system, you went the other way. So you have massive amounts of guilt for what's happened and what the life events that have transpired since not listening to your internal self, and that would be you have guilt. Or maybe you actually did something wrong. You made a terrible choice, or you did something against somebody else, or you did something against yourself, or you did something that you feel that the way you were raised does not allow you to have any kind of acceptance for something that you did, said, or felt. Therefore, you have guilt because your belief system says that is wrong, that is bad. And so it might not even be something that you did. Like, it doesn't have to be something major, like you went out and hurt someone or killed someone. I mean, that's, where you would think guilt comes in. But it could be you thought something. You thought about hurting someone or killing someone, or you were so angry at someone. Or maybe you thought about, maybe it was a thought that you had about doing something, or maybe it was just a thought that made you feel bad, right? That made you feel, I shouldn't be thinking this thought. My upbringing my value system, my beliefs don't allow me to be entertaining this thought. Maybe you felt like you were going to kill yourself, or you wanted to kill yourself. Maybe you felt, whatever you felt, maybe it's just so out of line with how you were raised and what your beliefs are and who you truly feel that you are at the center of your core value system. It's so out of alignment with that you're feeling self-guilt. So it could be something you did wrong, something you said wrong, something you thought, something that goes against your identity, something you didn't listen to yourself, you didn't listen to your internal guidance system, and things, you've never forgiven yourself because events that transpired after that were unthinkable, unspeakable, whatever you want to think of, and you think back, if I had only done this, then this wouldn't have happened. If I had only done this, and we carry this guilt, right? So you can be guilty for a lot of things, but guilt, when you feel like you've done something wrong, and you don't know how to express that, you don't know how to forgive yourself, you don't know how to be at peace with it, you often inflict a punishment and a self-punishment on yourself, and that is pain. So if you have an illness that's painful, symptoms that are painful, or something like that, then you need to think about what you're guilty for. What are you holding over your head that you won't or can't forgive yourself for? And it's all about self-forgiveness, right? Letting go of the self-shame, the self-guilt, the self-hatred, the self-loathing, the what if I had have done this? What if I hadn't have done this? And allowing yourself to forgive, like, I love you. And the way that we can begin to forgive in that situation is to know that we were truly doing the best that we could at that time, and we were a child who was hurting, who was suffering, who was in immense pain, and who made a decision whether they knew it was wrong, or whether maybe you didn't even know it was wrong, or maybe you knew it was wrong and you went ahead and did it anyways. But that's not really the point. You did the best that you could at that point because you were in pain, you were hurting, you were, imagine a little child, a little 5-year-old child who needs you to now wrap your arms around them and say, it's okay. You either didn't know or you knew, but you couldn't do it for whatever reason. And it's okay. I forgive you. I will forgive you. So it's a lot of forgiveness work that needs to be done around guilt. Then when we think about shame, shame is often also punishing yourself, but shame is often more in what the eyes of others think rather than yourself. It's like, I did this, therefore I'm bad. It's the guilt of it. I've forgiven myself, but I don't believe others will have forgiven me, because the way I was raised, my belief system, my value system, my whatever system is telling me that what happened was so bad, that I didn't listen to my internal guidance system, or I made a terrible wrong choice, or I've done something to hurt someone, or whatever that guilt that you feel is, whatever has happened. Even if I can forgive myself and I do all the work on self-love and self-forgiveness and really understanding that I didn't have all the tools in that position, or I was in pain myself, I was hurting, there was a reason that this happened, and if I can give myself all the love and forgiveness and even overcome guilt, that there's something bigger, that I feel shame in the eyes of other people because I think that they will instinctually know. I think that they can see that black mark. I think that they will judge me, they will criticize me, and they will think terribly and badly about me because of what happened, because of the choice I made, because of what I did, because of what I didn't do, because of the past, because of something. And even if you're able to forgive yourself, you feel you're still inflicting a punishment on yourself, and you won't allow yourself to believe that others will forgive you, and you won't allow yourself to integrate back into society and to say, I'm okay. It doesn't matter what they think of me. It doesn't matter the judgment. It doesn't matter the stories that they have. It doesn't matter whether they have it wrong and I feel like they don't understand, or they don't have all the facts, or they're thinking these things of me and they're not true, or I feel ashamed and I don't have a voice and I can't tell my real story or my real side, and everything like this. Right? It's the shame of what others think because of the deep belief and value system that you hold, that you are not a good person because of something that happened that you have felt this deep guilt about, and you don't know how to forgive yourself, or either you can forgive yourself but you really just do not trust that others, the universe, God, whatever, will forgive you, and you are punishing yourself by keeping yourself away from society, giving yourself pain, giving yourself an illness, making yourself a shut-in, being able to get out of social situations, of social interaction, of being at certain places with certain people, of holding your head up high, of being able to walk down the street and say, like, I'm doing the best I can, I did the best I can, I forgive myself, and I don't care if you forgive me, I don't care what you think of me, I know that I'm a good person. And once you forgive and love yourself, and once you're truly, truly, truly able to say, I'm gonna let what go happened, nobody else is sitting around thinking so terribly of you. Everyone's thinking about themselves. Everyone's thinking about their own guilt and their own shames and what other people think of them. And if so-and-so likes them, or if so-and-so doesn't like them, or if so-and-so's judging them, right? We're mostly focused on ourselves. And yes, people do judge and criticize other people. And yes, people do look down on people. And yes, people do. But it's only if you would look down on somebody else in the exact same position that you're in, if you would judge them, if you would criticize them, if you would think the worst of them, because that's how your upbringing and that's how your belief system has solidified over the years, then you won't allow yourself to think that they would forgive you, they would let the stories go of you, they would stop judging you. You sort of, you hold on to it. You hold on to what you're afraid that people are thinking based upon what you're truly thinking of yourself, or what you would think of somebody else in that situation, because you have strong beliefs of right or wrong, and you have a hard time thinking of gray. And so this is your own personal journey that you need to go on. But shame and guilt will keep you sick. It will keep you isolated. It will keep you in pain. It will keep you having a sentence that you have to carry around with for the rest of your life and pay it off. Whether it was or wasn't the worst thing that ever happened in the world, you will feel like you have to pay for this for the rest of your life, because you couldn't possibly forgive and love yourself, and nobody else could possibly forgive and love you. And at the heart of it, that is what we need to do the work around. If you want to let go, truly, of self-inflicted illness and pain and suffering, and you're really going to need to do some work around, why was it so shameful? Who told you? Who planted that in your head? Was it your parents? Was it society? Was it your teachers? Was it, who put that there, and why are you so black and white? And why can't you let it go? Why is it gray? Why can't it be gray? Why can't it be like, you made a mistake and people have killed people and then been so good after that, or forgiven themselves, and you know what? People in society actually go ahead and forgive them. Because once you truly forgive yourself and love yourself and know that you are forgivable and lovable by other people, by society, by the world, by your friends, by your old friends, by your family, by God, by everybody, if you truly feel lovable, that you are worthy now. You are worthy now of forgiveness and love by yourself and by everyone else. Then you can lay it down. You can lay down the guilt and the shame, and you can say, I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be forgiven. I deserve to be given a second chance. I deserve for my sentence to be over. I deserve for this terrible sentence to be over and to be gone. And that is going to take a lot of reminding yourself, looking in the mirror, telling yourself you love you, that you forgive yourself. You have to love and forgive yourself, and then believe you're worthy of love and forgiveness in the world. So I hope this helps. This is one of my biggest challenges in all of it. It's very deep-rooted, shame and guilt. It's very deep-rooted, and it's hard to sometimes untangle, and it's hard to lay down the burden, to lay down the sentence, to lay down that self-inflicted sentence that you feel you've been given by the universe, but really you've been given by yourself, okay? So it is okay. It is okay to lay this down now. I promise you that you will not be a bad or worse person if you let yourself off the hook for this. You do not need to continue to hold this in order to prove to the world that you're good now. Prove to yourself that you're good now. You can lay it down. You can let yourself off the hook. You can forgive yourself. You can allow others to forgive you. You can allow yourself to integrate back into society, to know that it's okay. You're loved. You're valued. You have all the rights that anyone else does. Sorry, there's a traffic jam here, which I'm not sure where to go. You know, you have all the rights in the world because you're human, because you were sent here by God, because it's okay to make mistakes, because all humans make mistakes, because everybody will make mistakes and have to learn from their mistakes and pay for their mistakes, and that's okay. And that's okay. And you're okay. And you're gonna be okay. And you can now go ahead and forgive and love yourself and truly allow yourself to be forgiven and loved by the world and be able to hold your head up high. You give that to yourself. You have to give that to yourself, and that's the work that needs to be done.